By then, water becomes solid. Clear? Okay, we are going this way. Bye.
Above our head, the foundation of this fortress are being supported by this ceiling. The Turks built their building on top of this Crusader building. Only when they built it, this space, this huge room was full of sand. When we excavated Akia, we started to excavate Akia in the early 60s. And we excavated it for 3 years. And Sand and Church. So we call this place Sand and Church. That's how most people are still calling it today. In books written in maps, the window level is above my head. And the building, the huge fortress, is above this ceiling. This building supported the street I pointed from above. Remember the street? Yeah. That's behind the plywood. We are unable to remove the sand from the street. Why not? What? Everything built on top of it would just come down with it. If we clean here everything, this ceiling will hold whatever is built on top of it. You are with me? But if we clean a street, there is nothing here to support whatever is built on top of it.
Great, fires down here.
Oh boy, you can sure can smell them.
I mean, was it right?
Fathers don't smell. Fathers don't smell. Don't worry so much about the spiders. Watch the scorpion.
Scorpion?
This is a subterranean tunnel which was used as an escape exit by the Crusaders.
How come have lights on?
Keep your right, side on side.
The bulbs were put in by the Crusader Electric Company.
Alright.
That's why you are turning sharply to the right, 90 degree turn to the right, and bend down. Keep your head down here.
I should sit right here.
The Crusaders came to 800 years ago, everything is intact. It was full of sand. We cleaned it up during the excavation early 60s. You wonder how you know if this was a stable and that was the dining room and this was the church and this was what. To begin with, we are dealing with human beings, with the architecture. And like we wouldn't build today's table the same way we built a dining room or a synagogue or a church or a bedroom, same way it was 200 or 800 years ago. So the architecture will be different, the design will be different. But of course, artifacts that we'll find in the place.
And believe it or not, yes, on the floor of stables, you know what we'll find. Look at your shoes and you know. As well, of course. But there's no way I can take you there. It was not excavated. The archaeologists were digging in few places a pier, a shaft to go down to the Roman city. They studied it a little bit. On one occasion, one of these piers, shafts, went down dead center to a business section or shopping center actually of the Roman city, and they discovered even a small barrel made full of wine.
Really?
Yes, and I was told it was a good vintage as well. So down below, and for that you'll have to take my word or to read it in books, but we have the Roman city. Above the Roman city, this is the Crusader city. Starting from down below, you can see the bottom of the Crusader city. By the way, we came out through the window of the stable. We came out through the window. The steps was done by us. The floor of the stable is ground level of Crusader city. Below it is the Turkish, the Roman city. So we have down below Roman city dating 2,000 years. We have here Crusader city dating back 800 years. This is the top of the Crusader city. On top of it, we have the Turkish city from the 16th century, which means 400 years ago. On top of it, you have the 20th century, which is English or Israel. So the upper building, the very upper building is 20th century. Below it, where you see the shutters, it's 400 years, it's Turkish. At our level right here, this is Crusader, 800 years, and down below, Roman, 2,000 years. This is definitely unique. No other place in the world but up here.
This is room 803 in the Dan Carmel on Mount Carmel in Haifa. We just arrived about 10 minutes ago after our tour, and we have a suite overlooking the Bay of Haifa, the Mediterranean Sea again. The view is incredible. That's the seaport of Haifa, the most important seaport in Israel. And that's the city of Haifa, which is on 3 levels. We're at the top level right now. We asked for a room overlooking the city, and we sure got it. From the top level of Haifa down to Hadar, which is the lowest level.
You're hurting me. Where the fuck did you win, Thor? That's always good. Always the best here. Oh, right. Yeah. It appears to feel that the lead first and stuff like that, but it's not forever. I think I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna let this one be and get it that. Yeah. Something that's this one. See the time it's done.
I got my ear pierced Simone, mio ora, Simone.
Go down the street, I'll get pictures.
I'm right here.
There are the mosques. The shrine is right below us. See it here? That's where he's buried.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the mosque, the golden mosque.
Very much, yes.
We're on the Israeli-Lebanon border right now, going to the underwater grottos of Rosh Hanakra. We're going to descend by cable car.
Wherever the hotel in San Francisco, it's an outside outlet. I don't have any. I still have
I don't lean too far over.
No, they let eight come.
I don't worry, just don't.
And Lenora's holding on to me.
As long as you're insured, I don't worry. I'm insured, he's insured.
I have a very
about the cable car.
reasonable policy here.
Now, start going there.
Anybody who cares.
I know I have missed many wonderful sights.
Lenora gets a medal after this trip. Look at it, it's beautiful.
Cannot climb out if you want.
Enjoying yourself?
It's only when I open my eyes.
That I get when I, even if I see a grandchild or a child near the edge of the... Oh, yeah. Not bad. It looks, you know, better than it
You hear the waves breaking in the grotto.
Oh my God.
Oh, is that magnificent? the Israeli Navy, patrolling the Lebanon border. The UN police force.
Crossing this fence without our knowledge. This fence is not built to stop an attack. This fence is not supposed to prevent an invasion. An army who went to cross it can do it just like that. The purpose, and it was built in order to prevent the PLO terrorists from entering Israel. Any terrorist who wants to cross this fence, it could be done, but not unnoticed. Every few miles we have like a station who monitors each side of the fence, each part of the fence. We have so many devices here that if somebody will cross, it will be noticed immediately. The buzz will go on in the monitoring station, and the man monitoring it will know precisely which inch of the fence it was penetrated. He will call immediately on a wireless to a special unit which is on alert 24 hours a day. That's its purpose. In fact, he will tell them exactly where the fence was penetrated. There are numbers all along, as you'll notice, will drive, and he will tell them the fence was penetrated there. The unit will be here in a matter of 5 minutes with helicopters, and they'll start to hunt down the terrorists who crossed the fence before they will reach our cities. Before they'll be able to reach our cities and to put a bomb in it, and so on all the time. Okay?
Can you type in title?
The worst part of this is I'm going to have his voice on the whole trip.
Take a good one, Stu, because if it don't come out good, I'm not going to find it.
You know how much the Lebanon border will cost you? You wouldn't believe it.
$2.
Don't you lean on your shoulder? Don't you pull a piece out and let it lean on your shoulder? Nah, I find it better when I shove it in my shoulder like firing a rifle. Yeah? Hey, look at this. Get the military behind us. Shalom.
Like babies. Now, want you to film me jump, your tape me jumping?
Just a little bit, not very much. It's worse when I fall over.
Yeah, right here, Stu. Quick. Too late. You had a sign there.
I'd rather get the GIs here.
They look like such babies. They are babies.
What do they call them? Gimel Yuds?
Girl? Girl. If I didn't get my daughter, I would convince her. Except they're out of the country. So that's right. I always tell them that.
I should have thought of this before.
You want to sit back here?
No, it's okay. It's fine. Am I in your way? You're getting a great view.
Just when you stop short, you go flying into the next county. Or should we stay across the border?
Heading up in Lebanon.
The buzzers go off, we won't know you.
There's a breakthrough. It's very simple.
A man with a General Electric camera taking video this morning. Radiator.
You know what's going to happen in customs? They're going to see this film, they're confiscated.
They're going to ask you to come through their, oh no, he's not going to pass that.
You know how to pay money to bring this into the country? What? They wanted a $700 deposit. I bought you
When you're driving in this part of the country, let's face it, this is not exactly the image of Israel that you have in your eyes, in your mind. New Jersey, smaller in size than New Jersey. And nevertheless, we have so many different types of climates or terrain. For example, when it's snowing in Jerusalem every winter, and the temperatures there are in the very low 30s or high 20s, less than 10 miles away driving time along the road, and it should not take you more than 20 minutes to get there, you'll find the Dead Sea, sunshine, and the temperatures in the 80s. In the 80s, you'll find the town of Jericho, 10 miles from Jerusalem, 20 minutes driving time between Jerusalem and Jericho, and at winter time in Jerusalem could be snow with temperatures in the high 20s, and the very same moment in Jericho, beautiful blue sky, full sunshine, and the temperatures in the low 80s. This is very typical to Israel. Goes without saying actually that that's why every king,
This looks like Italy here. What town is it? You know what town it is? I think it's Venice. You wouldn't know where you've been.
Shoot this in a second, it'll be a big smear.
Where'd you shoot it at?
This you don't need.
Shot at 125th.
I'm not paying for junkyards, so I'm telling you now.
Best you shoot it.
Amsterdam, better known today as New York. But a lot of the Spanish Jews came to Israel, and among them was a certain person by the name of Rabbi Joseph Caro. The name probably will mean nothing to you, only because you are not Orthodox. Would you be Orthodox, you'll know the name very well. It's Rabbi Joseph Caro who composed the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch, which is the codex of Jewish law. In Hebrew, if you want to translate the word Shulchan Aruch, it will mean a set table. In a way, it's indeed the set table of the Jewish law. Orthodox Judaism is conducting itself today pretty much according to the Torah, the Bible, that is, Old Testament only, of course, and the Talmud and the Mishnah, Maimonides, and Shulchan Aruch of Rabbi Joseph Caro. This Rabbi Joseph Caro, who was born in Spain, 1488, ran away from the Inquisition to this town of Tzfat. He settled down here, established his synagogue, and it's here in this town that he composed the Shulchan Aruch, and eventually died here at the year 1575. We are going to leave the bus. It may be cold outside since we are on a high elevation. Tzfat is 3,400 feet above sea level. 3,400 feet above sea level, so it may be cold outside. We are going to leave the bus and to walk to the Jewish quarter. Now listen carefully. As we leave the bus, there are a lot of steps to
Shalom. 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 Boker Tov.
Where's the sewer drain, I?
My sister recently...
Did you ask? Well, he says, no, I guess I pick up I can go right along with the group.
Yeah.
Call now.
Billy, give me ball.
Felix, Sam Felix.
Billy, give me ball. Billy, give me ball.
Boker Tov.
Boker Tov. Billy, give me ball. מה, אתה טלוויזיה?
Ja, CBS. Alle Pace Gimel.
אוקיי, זין גדול.
Danke sehr.
זין גדול. Give it up, Dean. Give it up.
Oh, sure, I know, yes. That's why I've stayed with him so long.
I want to be here too when we're going to a corner.
If there is, let's say, a candle or an oil lamp started to be burned from before, so you can go to it and light your cigarette on this fire. You can smoke it inside. Let's talk about the synagogue. Let's make this subject clear.
Stand over there.
The Jewish synagogue, of course, only Jewish. The synagogue is facing what direction?
East.
East. Absolutely wrong. But you are right. Your synagogue are facing east. Jerusalem. The synagogue is facing Jerusalem. This synagogue, for example, is facing south. The synagogue that would be located east of Jerusalem would face west. Your synagogues being west of Jerusalem are facing east. Unlike in Christianity, where when all the churches facing east, a synagogue is facing Jerusalem.
What part of the synagogue is facing the direction of
The ark, always the ark. The ark is facing Jerusalem, which means if you are standing in front of the ark, it will be to Jerusalem. A synagogue in Jerusalem will have the Galilee and they are putting it on the table where it is falling. The Sephardic Torah has no handles whatsoever, not to know what about. Inside the case, around the case. The case could be made of anything. Wood, silver, gold, you name it. Most of it is made of gold, most of it is made of wood. It's decorated with it all over the day. The what?
Writing. Yes. They used to write the Torah in Sephardic, the same as Ashkenaz.
Yes, the same, 10 minutes to 12 o'clock. When you'll be ready to leave this place, when you'll be ready to leave, you are going outside and to the right.
You want to stand in front of it?
Take
my picture.
Folks, listen, as you're taking pictures, listen. You leave this place and you go to the right. All the way down to the right, you find the bus. You have all the time in the world.
Okay, I want to answer that
We don't recognize reform.
Carpenter's level? Carpenter's level, yes, but also bigger than for carpenters. And as you see the guest house, we have 600 people in the kibbutz, people, But members of the kibbutz, there are only 320. And this is not a very big kibbutz, not very small, in the middle. A man asked me about the age in the kibbutz. We have different people from all over the world and different ages. Our kibbutz exists from 48. And we have here grandfathers and grandmothers, parents, and people of 60 and 50 and etc. and young people and children. Most of the families has 3 and 4 children, and our children, they study at the school. The Papier school is at home, and the high school is in another kibbutz, in kibbutz Dafna. A bus is coming to pick the children from 10 kibbutzim here around the area, and they study in kibbutz Dafna. Then they come back home to eat and to work and to make their homework, and then they go home to their parents. Now, on the way you will see that many houses are renovated. We change always the systems. We don't stay on one system for always. So now the system is to take the children home to be with the parents at night. Till now it wasn't like that, and the children were living separate. And we are very happy that we suggest to do it. It cost a lot of money, but slowly we did it, and now we are on the end. So you will see that the houses are bigger now, but the children houses are still the same form with the beds inside, because the children are from morning till 4:30 in the children houses. The parents are working, yes, at the daytime. The woman and the man. Women 7 hours, men 9 and 10, and then the children, they come home to sleep. Also till they are 13. From 13 they have a room with a friend. Yes, from 13 they are bar mitzvah. They eat with the parents in the dining room. They have not a home, not a children house. They have bedrooms that they sleep only there, and they prepare the homework and what they want to do. It's not like you will see on the way. It's not like a children house. It's like a
dormitory.
Yes. If I want a car, I can't buy. Not big things like a car, but if I want a table, so I can pay from my private money, because I receive X shekel in one quarter of year, and I can make my mind up what I.
They give us some shekels. So
they give us a sum of money to each family to buy the little private things.
Very good.
If my child wants to study the piano, will the
Yes.
kibbutz buy a
Look,
piano?
we don't buy a piano. We give him a chance to study.
Right.
But he can play in the room of the piano room, the music room.
Oh, I
Yes,
see.
we have not pianos at home. It's also, we have a simple life, not very
Yes,
rich,
I
not
do.
very poor. Very simple in the middle. A good, what?
Television.
Then this one, from the bedroom, exactly with the shelter. Now for the adults, we have on each area of house, we have a children. Children have for 10 children,
bell kind of handle. That's how we make them.
That's the cafeteria.
Still, I'm not paying for this still. I don't like this.
You have to slice it out.
We have here our celebrations, meetings, Shabbat meetings. Every Shabbat we have a meeting to say, to give opportunity to the people to think about the avocado, they go
Már nem diplomata, már ott van egy konzolba. Múltján azért nem írtak nekem, hogy a lányok szokott írni, hogy nem
Köszönöm, munka.
We'll drive by another kibbutz on the left. Its name is Dan, D-A-N, just below the Golan Heights, and we are driving toward the Golan Heights. Couple of minutes we'll be crossing the ceasefire line and will enter the so-called occupied territory of the Golan Heights. King and more powerful country, they took over the Golan Heights. So historically speaking, Golan Heights was always between Israel and Syria. Geographically speaking, and historically speaking, Golan Heights, which are located between Israel and Syria, belonged most of the time to Israel and it's part of Palestine. But geographically speaking, it's really in between Israel and in between Israel and Syria. In 48, when the Syrians attacked Israel, they said that this is a Russian minefield because the Russians built this minefield for the Syrians. The Russians used their manpower, their machinery. Yes, they had special machines to bed mines in the ground. And now, after 67, it is still a very active minefield, but it is serving Israel right now. If there ever was a weapon that you can describe as a defensive weapon, it would be mines. Mines is practically the only weapon I can think of that cannot be used for offense, only for defense. And the Russians knew what they were doing. This is a per excellence place for a minefield in a defense system, of course, and Israel is using the same minefield in the world to be used by humans and on the slope of mountains. They are called terraces, and their purpose is to prevent the topsoil from the mountains to be washed down. If you want to think of it as retaining walls, you may, but it's not really retaining walls. Those are terraces, and this is done in order to prevent erosion, to preserve the land. He, no, he's a Druze. A Druze with his goat and sheep. Yemina. Okay, that's where we are leaving the road, and I'm taking you inside an ex-Syrian fortification.
So fun with the stop. Oh my God, the road. The car doesn't know where we're going to go. Just got out of traffic.
Whoever controls the Golan Heights controls the Sea of Galilee.
One more roll, I think. I should have taken this.
Look at the sheep.
Those were cows.
Is that cows?
Yeah, and he was throwing rocks to get them going.
Yeah. Dad, look at the cows.
I never saw cows before.
It looks like a plow. Yeah, he was throwing rocks at them to get them moving. And a black bow following them.
Get against the bus, Isaac. Get by the door there, Isaac.
It really does. Someone just did that.
Here you can see from the bunker
Might want to get
a
a
view
shot
down
from
to
here
the Sea of
over.
Galilee.
You might want to get a shot from here, including that and include that.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Am I blocking?
Yeah.
Karen.
This is room 915 in the Plaza Hotel at Tiberias on the Sea of Galilee. That's our patio overlooking the Sea of Galilee. It's dark now, so I don't think we can see the lake or the sea. It's really a lake. That's the outdoor pool. That's plaza in Hebrew.
Let's do it in English.
It's right in front of our hotel.
למדו אתה. Mark, it's right up here.
Yep. We'll take a night ride on the Sea of Galilee. That's our hotel.
I guess you know what she can do. What's the point of growing it?
Well, they were talking about, they were talking to the, they had the rolling before, they had finished their feathering with something. Just came from Romania, so one day, they were very
shower, there's a spray in the bathtub. Did you see this bathtub? I got in there, I was going to get out of here. It's the tiniest cup in it.
That is a period. They all go. I didn't know the restaurant. He thought his food. And they know the difference between a girl and a what do you mean? My 40-year girl comes up and she's brilliant. I know the boy my little one I used to say, what's the difference to my big one when he was real little between a boy and a girl? He used to say, boys have short hair and girls have He's a different generation already. You're showing the generation, that's all. Next time do that for somebody else.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The biggest Jewish town center in the Galilee, the most part of Israel, is a town called Kfar Nahum, which means the village, Kfar is a village of Nahum. The country is going first to the Galilee, and it's here in the Galilee that he started to preach for 3 years all over the Galilee. This era in Jesus' life is known in Christianity as Jesus' ministry in the Galilee. For these 3 years, Jesus stayed at this Jewish town called Kfar Nahum, and he made it his base. From here he went on his journey. Kfar Nahum was mispronounced, and today you would be familiar with it as Capernaum. But please note it's the same letters. Kfar Nahum, Capernaum, the very same letters. So Capernaum is known today as the city of Jesus because that's where he spent his 3 years, preaching all over the Galilee. The New Testament is telling us about a lot of things which were performed here by Jesus. We have a lot of information about Jesus being preaching and praying at the synagogue of Capernaum and so on. The place today is the property of the Franciscan Church. The Franciscan Church bought this piece of land at the 14th century from the Arab Mamlukans. And they built the monastery, this church, 1925. This is their property, period. According to the law of this country, every shrine belongs completely to its own people. The State of Israel has no authority here. Only the local church has the authority in this place. And the local people are doing the excavations here. It's very unfortunate that they are not qualified archaeologists. They are doing a very good work. They really try hard and they mean very well, but they are not professionals. So unfortunately they are making a lot of things which should not be done from the archaeological professional point of view. But like I said, that's what they want to do. It's their understanding, it's their property, it's under their authority, and they're doing it. And nobody can say one word about it. One of the things that they discovered here is the ruins of a Jewish synagogue. And if you look to this direction, you can see the ruins of the Jewish synagogue of Capernaum. Now the local people are pointing to it and are mentioning it in association with the synagogue mentioned in the New Testament. Nevertheless, this is a synagogue it's dating back to the 4th century BC. And I can show you, and I will show you later, how we know exactly that this synagogue is from the 4th century BC and not earlier than that. The local people have a good point, and they say that yes, this is a synagogue from the 4th century. They don't try to tell you that this is from the 1st century BC or something like that. They say yes, it's from the 4th century AD, but they say we have to remember that Jewish people normally will build this new synagogue of a community on top of the previous one. If a synagogue will be destroyed, earthquake, fire, war, and the Jewish community wants to build a new synagogue, they'll build it on the same site of the previous one, which is absolutely right. Remember the synagogue in Tiberias, we found 3 floors, one on top of the other. The Jewish people are doing it. So they said that maybe, probably, the synagogue mentioned in the New Testament was on the same site as well. Even so, this is from 4th century AD. Now please note one thing, the synagogue is built of limestone. Everything else is built of the dark basalt lava stone. This is volcanic area, remember? The nearest lime quarry is close to 50 miles away. And if we have such a big building made of limestone that was schlepped 50 miles, this is an indication of how big, how important, and how rich was the Jewish community in the 4th century in Capernaum that was able to do such a thing. Now let me show you, we are going to see a lot of the decorations of this synagogue because it was an outstanding decorated synagogue. And remember, as a rule, when you are walking around this place and you see limestone, it doesn't matter if the limestone will be there or God knows where, because the local people are removing things. If it's limestone, it belongs to the synagogue, period. That means that this little column in front of you and it's the capital on top of it are from the synagogue. Now you know what a capital, right? Capital is the stone that decorates on the top of a column. And the word capital in Latin means head. Means head. That's why the main city of a country is called its capital. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's the source for the capital punishment. When you make one head, one person, one head shorter. Who knows? However, look at this capital right here. Beautifully decorated, but I want your attention to something there. The menorah. The menorah. Now let me emphasize. Star of David is not and was not a unique Jewish symbol. Star of David was used all over the world, in China, in India, by the Red Indians, in Europe, in Africa, all over the world people were using this star with the 6 corner known to as David star. What we think today is that it was King David who adopted this star and painted it on his shield as his coat of arms. And that's why in Hebrew we are not calling it Star of David, we are calling it Magen David, David shield. Shield. So Star of David was never a Jewish symbol. It was used by anybody. The Jewish people had one unique symbol that was used by nobody but Jewish people. Unique to the Jewish people, this is the menorah. The menorah that you see here. We received the menorah, Moses, Holy Moses received the menorah together with the 10 Commandments at Mount Sinai. And later on it was the central piece in the temple. It was made of gold. And when Titus conquered Jerusalem in the year 70 AD, he schlepped it to Rome. And that's the last we heard about the menorah. Now this is the menorah, the way it's being described in the Bible. But please note that I'm referring to a menorah with 7 branches. And not what you are using on Hanukkah. you, us, everybody. The Hanukkah, it's not a menorah, it's a Chanukiah, it's a different story. It has 9 branches. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the original menorah, which had 7 branches to it. Clear?
One question.
Yes.
If that was discovered, the synagogue, on this property, who has control of that synagogue to excavate?
The local people. It's on their property.
Right here.
Right here. It's their own property. That in the hand was, they put it over there on top of the for other things this shows. I think they are doing wrong to themselves by building something like that. We make it trying to rebuild it. Christianity for it. I would be if I was this place like to
Good for you.
the way it is authentic. But otherwise, maybe they can store it in his that was change that we have to face it. The first synagogue was built later. The synagogue created. What happened is that the first synagogue was changed. Insulated house, they blocked the entrance like this, blocking it, blocked the door on the other side. Closed on the synagogue, all is over there. Let's move it if I'm show you. So this was the original entrance. There were 3 doors entering the synagogue to enter from there, praying facing Jerusalem. Okay, this was it. Yeah. The only problem with this sign is that nobody in the world will accept it. And the first to reject it is the Vatican. The Vatican is the first to reject it. But even the Vatican doesn't have power over the local church here. The local church says something very simple. The New Testament tells us that Jesus was staying at the house of Peter, and that Peter was living not far from the synagogue. And they believe that they discovered here the site of the house of Peter. Temple, what else? What door? What else? Column, what else?
That's the church.
Service is always the altar where there is eternal life inside. That's for the priest supposed to be in, men be in a front, women, girls over here among the steps. And we use the language in Arabic and in Greek. No music, chanting anywhere. And the beautiful thing in this church till today stand never change. The exactly handmade wood from the trees, the cedars, do it in Athens and gives to the church before 250 years ago. That's the same carving. And about the well, this is the only source of water in this town. Oh, well, what the New Testament didn't talk about. Mentioned, I mean, in the New Testament. Of some of the Gospels, which is a bit written in the New Testament called Gospels. St. James Gospel on the say, when Mary came to carry her water from the only fountain at Nazareth, the angel Gabriel announced her she was beautiful. You can use your general and you can think from the word. This is important sentence in Paul. So it's used by Jesus and the foreign Jesus and everybody used it from the word. The other thing that we do to your time is that sometimes you stand by and say that we know all the extra chairs. Now please show me down to the See in your right the old entrance, there's steps leading to that fountain here. The water running from under the ground is through to that little well, which is called Mary's well, and thus the mosaic, the tiles, the crosses round the wall with the roof, what remains from the churches, which is a temple. Welcome, please, and see. Excuse me to say, when you come out, I have
That's where the angel Gabriel announced to Mary that she was going to have the child of God, or in his vicinity anyway.
I want to.
We're in the Balfour Forest now in the Jewish National Fund planting area, and I met some girls here, and there's Lenore. And you I know. What is your name? Your name? Alia. And where is your home? Nazareth. How old are you?
Fine.
No, not how are you. How old are you?
Fingers.
How old? 15. 15, right? And your name?
Shadia.
And you live in Nazareth too?
Nazareth.
Nazareth. And your name?
15.
15, and your name?
Rehab.
And you are not Jewish? Are you Jewish?
Nazareth.
Nazareth, And your name is?
Sam.
And how old are you? Also 15?
15 years.
And you also live in Nazareth?
Yes, Nazareth. Sahar.
And your name? Zahal. And you're also 15. All from Nazareth. And you speak English, right? You speak English?
Yes.
And where did you learn it? In school?
Yeah.
And did you grow up in Nazareth?
I'm from Nazareth.
You're from Nazareth. You all go to the same school?
Yes.
And what is the name of the school you go to?
School Nazareth.
School Nazareth, okay.
Already on the past. This is the tale I was telling you about. Tale which is dating back. Tale where we discovered over 20 different levels of civilization. If you want to see over there, you can see a cross section of all the 20 levels. You do realize level number 1 is always on top, but you don't know how many levels. You start to count where you're standing and you're digging all the way down below. In this case, we reached and discovered 20 different levels of civilization before we reached the ground level, the virgin ground where no settlements were there before. We are standing now outside the tail. This building where we are standing was the headquarters of the all different expeditions which I mentioned. The first expedition at the beginning of the century by Professor Schumacher, another 5 expeditions from the University of Chicago, and later on some Israeli expeditions, and the last one at the year 67. All of them used this building for the excavation. Now this is a small museum. We are standing right here outside. From here, you start in a moment to climb up, going all the way up to here to reach the cave. Rule number 1, everything that you see here and it's painted white, you don't see on the table. This is the educated guess or the conclusion of the archaeologists of how the ruins look like. For example, let's say that we discover this ruins. The archaeologists, based on their knowledge, based on their experience, would reach the conclusions that these ruins, for example, originally looked like that. So they had built here this for you to see what the ruins really look like originally 10,000 years or whenever ago. You're with me so far. We are going to climb all the way here. None of this you will see because it's painted white. You're going to see the foundation of this citadel. There were 2 citadels, an upper one and a lower one. None of them exist but the foundation. From here we are going to climb to this place. Here you are not going to find this. You see none of it. You wouldn't even see the foundation. What you see here is a dig, an archaeological dig, and that's the way it looks. So this is the dig we are going to see. We are going to stand here and we look down to this dig. We stopped here at the level which is dating back to the 14th century BC, Karnak level. Here was discovered a Karnak temple. And that's why we stopped the digging here. We just touched one of the biggest problems of archaeology. Where to dig to begin with, where to stop to dig. You cannot just dig everything because then you live in nothing. Destroy every evidence. But where do you stop? Should we stop here? Should we start here? If we start here, we may miss the biggest discovery of all time right here. You are with me? You'll stop here, who knows, maybe down below another level, the biggest discovery of all time. One of the problems that archaeology is facing, the decision where to dig is done by archaeologists after a very careful research. The decision where to stop the dig is according to what you discover. The moment you reach something unique, you don't go and just
preserved.
Was sonst
This Karma temple used to be unique. And this was discovered it was the only single Karma temple ever to be discovered in the world. Of course, Karmite culture is only in Israel, but in rest we are saying the world. You don't expect to find Karmite remains in Europe. This was the only Karmite temple that was ever discovered. I don't know, but could be that in the future we're going to go.
Die früheren
Human beings will settle down in the place with water. To begin with, the place
die früheren kanaanitischen
had to live on the water,
Kultstätten,
next to the
die
water.
haben nicht mehr
He had to drink the water.
darauf hatten sie ihre
He could not catch water.
Und dann sehen wir hier zum Beispiel diese Mauer. Diese Mauer ist die Mauer zu seiner Zeit. Wir sehen hier, dass es auch ein anderes Kriegssystem gewesen ist. Wir sehen hier zum Beispiel diese Tunnel gebaut, weil damals das Kriegssystem so war, dass man einen Tunnel gebaut hatte unter die Mauer.
Never you find a water spring on the top of a hill. Even if the spring itself located down below, the water will seek the easiest way out. Why should the water climb up if it can go down and reach the surface at the foot of the hill? So springs will be down. This city was built on this hill above the water place. The city was surrounded with this water that you see all over the place. In the wall there was a gate, special gate for the water. It was called the water gate. From this water gate, yes, from this. He took few men and he told them, you're going down to the water spring. You'll swim through the tunnel. They have to be good swimmers, of course. Trained people. You'll swim through the tunnel at night. You'll reach the shaft. You'll climb slowly and quietly. If there are going to be any guys up there, you'll kill them. Nice and quiet. And then, Moshe, you'll go to the eastern gate. Yankari, you'll go to the western gate. And Zufmi or whatever will go to the other gate. And the moment the gates were open, he entered the city, everybody was still asleep. And that's how he conquered Jerusalem. The full story is in the Bible. Once something like that was done, then the whole system not only is no good, it's leaving the city defenseless. Everybody can do the same thing. Then something was done here to solve this new problem. And this is what was done here. After the whole complex is finished the way I described it to you, maybe 100 of feet.
Buried right there in the
Trees.
You'll be part of the deal.
I gotta get a picture of the whole sign. You're right.
Take everything else. What does it glue it on? The little thing glues on. Puts it on.
I'm ahead of you, Slowpoke.
at the 14th century BC level at this place. Below it, it's going all the way down to the 20 level. We stop here because of this current temple which I told you. Below the right wall of the dig, you can see like an altar, it's like a circular altar. This is the altar of the Karnak temple. In front of it, you can see a building, or the walls that were left of the building, just in front, toward the other wall, not toward the altar, the building, to the left of the building, from the end of the wall till the end of the dig, an open yard. So what you see here is an open yard, a building of a temple, and another part of the temple, which was the altar. It stopped here, because at that time it was used. Now another thing that I want to point out,
Watching Brad there.
There you go ahead. I'm taking a picture. Need a slipper.
In the spring, this tunnel is filled with water, and it's not accessible by humans. Now the water table is down.
Stop so I can get a picture of the tunnel with it.
Okay, the last one. We are waiting for you.
No, wait.
Because the Jews took you home. And you have nothing to lose. What do you have to lose here? No point, and you become a terrorist. And the Arab would not solve the problem of the terror of the Palestinian refugees because they used it as a political weapon against Israel. Not because they could not solve the problem of 600,000 refugees. That's nonsense. Israel, tiny little Israel with 650 Jewish people in 48, we absorbed 2 million refugees. 1 million from the Holocaust and another million from Arab countries. And we don't have oil and we don't have anything. And we solved the problem. You have seen the country. You don't see refugees there. So it wasn't a question of if the Arab able or unable to solve the problem. The bloody Arabs had the problem what to do with their money. They said loud and clear. And they are right from their point of view. They said loud and clear. If we will solve their problem, if we will settle down the refugees, then there wouldn't be any problem. And if there wouldn't be any problem, why should not Israel exist forever if there's no problem? And they're right. If the problem of those refugees would be solved, there'll never be a PLO, there'll never be a refugees problem. Nobody will even remember today of what happened here in 49 or 48. So from their point of view, this is a damn smart decision. They kept the issue alive. They add fuel to the fire. And it's a huge fire today. And they did it as simple as that. They're so smart when it comes to this only point. That in 67, when we came here, they convinced those Palestinian refugees to move away with them. You'll find today outside Amman a refugee camp like this. So we told the Arab, look, if you want to keep on living here, you're welcome. We can't force you out. But if you want to move any other place in the West Bank, not back to Israel, but in the West Bank, you're welcome. You'll have to start to work. No more UNRWA shmunra. No more barbed wire. It's open. You want permission to work? Here is the permission. You can work any way you want in the West Bank, or you can ask for permission and come and work inside Israel. But work you would. Otherwise it's your problem where you get food. No more UNRWA shmunra here. They're getting, that's the situation today. Most of them left to Jordan. The rest of them are working, either in Israel or in other parts of the West Bank. Few are still living here. If you look here and there carefully, you see one building or another building where people are living. At least today it looks like a human being place. Look at it, it's a building. I find Sonim gesagt as a building, but it's better than this. That's really what created the whole problem. Now, how can you do such a thing to another, for example? It's not a Jew from Spain who did it to a Jew from Poland, for example. It's like two Jews from the same village will do it to each other. That's what they did to their own. How can you do such a thing to your own? That's a different story altogether. But the effect of it is a terrible one for Israel. That's what created the whole conflict, right there. And they were absolutely right then there, from their point of view, to create these refugees camps. That's really the biggest success, and a terrible one for us. feet, and the distance between Jericho and Jerusalem is only 10 miles. You remember what I said about the winters in Jerusalem and the winters in Jericho? So now we are crossing the Judean desert. We are on our way to Jerusalem. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going to happen in the next few days. I'm not going to do too much guiding right now along this road, because we are going to drive here again Friday morning and again Friday afternoon. I'll make use of this road to tell you a few things about Jerusalem, what we are going to do the next few days, what you can do at your leisure in Jerusalem, at nights for example, at the weekend and so on. I'll give you a list of restaurants, of other pieces of information. If you want to write down, take a paper and write down whatever you like. We are going to start every day. First hotel that we have to pick up at 7:40. Then we had a few hotels that will be in one hotel after the other to start our days. Tomorrow we are starting the tour with a visit to the miniature city of Jerusalem, the miniature city which was made by Professor Aviana to show us Jerusalem the way it was 2,000 years ago. From there we shall proceed to the Hadassah Medical Center, to Kennedy Memorial, to Yad Vashem, Mount Herzl, Bethlehem. We'll visit the Church of Nativity in Bethlehem tomorrow, and we'll end the tour tomorrow with a visit to the Bedouin camp. We are going to be guests of the Bedouins. We are going to ride their animals, the camels, and you have to ride the camels. Since I promised the camels you'll do so. Camels cannot wait for the opportunity. And then tomorrow evening is at your leisure, like any other evening. Thursday morning we are starting the tour. With a walking tour of the old Israeli Museum. After the Israeli Museum sightings of Jerusalem, including Mea Shearim, the ultra-Orthodox Jewish quarter. And third,
to the top floor of the King David Hotel in Jerusalem. Not as elaborate as our other hotels, but a very historic hotel. Bombed by the Irgun during the Freedom War in 1948.
Significant event.
أخي المواطن كثر وكثرة
I'll let you take a picture of me. Definitely.
Take a few minutes when you are leaving the place. Immediately turn to the right of the building and there are steps over there. Go down these steps and down there are washrooms and the bus is waiting there. So a couple of minutes to walk around
Bom, meron dito movie. אני אתחיל לראות. אתה לא מסודר. נשק את בסך הכל שלנו.
honor of the whole human race. They set an example to all of us what a human being should be like. And let me tell you that with more people like this, there'll never be a place like that. We are calling this entrance to Yad Vashem the avenue or the garden of the righteous. They were right here. I hope to God we'll have more people like this in this world, and the whole world will be a better place. They set an example for all of us.
Another interpretation, you may have another one, and we have some arguments all about what is your own interpretation. My interpretation in this fish is a different one. I think that the Safari Plaza wanted us to see what is that with ice, that the Jewish people were killed like fish. When you kill a fish, you don't hear any noise. You kill a fish, no noise comes. You can kill all the fish in the world and not being disturbed. If you're not looking, you wouldn't know. Like when the Jews were killed, it was quiet and nobody made any noise and nobody was disturbed. We have another paragraph over there. Everything collapsed. Everything is under fire. The war goes on. The Jewish people fight. Something terrible that was done to the Jews in Europe. Some kind of general agreement that the Jewish people did not fight back. It's not true. The Jewish people did fight back. All over Europe. In every city ghetto, not only in the ghetto of Warsaw. Besides, nobody ever did, nobody ever have a statistic to find out, for example, how many hundreds of thousands of Jews just left their cities and ran into the mountains to join partisans groups. There were partisans groups all over Europe and not mountains. Jewish people did fight back. They were fighting back with a knife, they were fighting back with a rifle or an arrow, whatever means was available to people for using. Even as a legend. Maybe it's a symbol of a family, like Jacob's well. Maybe is the symbol of the letters that the Jewish people were using in the different ghettos. The Jewish people in the ghettos were meeting the Germans outside. But we didn't always see the enemy uses the fuel system in the ghetto. Walking through it, they came out in the German part of the city.